are back with Trevor Hill as we continue talking about spicing up your home for fall. And okay, so we're talking about just some of the tablescaping, small pieces. In the past, we've talked about just adding pillows and things like that, so baby steps. Yep. However, if you want to take a little bit bigger step as far as it goes with refreshing your home, what's your advice?
Well, my advice would be, I love that you brought up the pillow thing. It is so fun to throw in a couple accessories. It's so simple. It's really cost effective. And, you know, it just feels like you did something new. But yeah, if you want to spend a little bit more or do a little bit more, well, not even spend a little bit more, but painting. I mean, painting is huge. We've talked about that before, but it's so big. So I just had a client that she hires me for different rooms of the house every year. So she'll call me up again and say, well, let's work on the living room this time. And I feel like every year she feels like her house is new and kind of like almost like a new home again. But we just did her master bedroom, and we actually painted all the walls orange. She loves color, but it's a really deep, gorgeous orange. I know, I wish I would have sent the photo in so we could have it up on the screen. And then everything else got really neutral in there. So it was lots of whites and beiges, but then she had this pop of orange. And yeah, and some other pieces that she collected from global travels. And so it was like, it was a hint of boho, but not really, you know, just because of the naturalness of what she collected. Yeah.
I love that. I feel like sometimes the bedroom is neglected as far as, you know, designing it and decorating it because you focus on the kitchen or the living room. Right. Something else you told me in the break, which I wanted to make sure we, because we're coming up on, you know, entertaining season with Thanksgiving just around the corner and Christmas. What is another space that you think is great, especially if you're going to have people over?
Right. So if you're having people over, one thing, of course, that most people use is your powder bath, and that generally is a smaller space, and you can make a huge impact on that. You can change out the mirror. You can put wallpaper if you want to have a lot of fun with that. You can just paint it as well, you know, but there's a lot of fun things you can do. Put a little accessory in there, you know, maybe fresh flowers if people are coming over, but it's perfect for Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, any of that. Yeah.
And we kind of joked about, you know, pumpkin spice candles, but that's part of the design as well, right? Having the scent for the season. McNeil and Friends has a great
they have the best candles, don't they? Well, and Home Goods. It's like polar opposite, right?
Well, and I asked you that too. Like, I'm like, you from everywhere, Home Goods and like out in rural North Dakota and, you know, vintage piece. How often as a designer are you out shopping and looking for pieces?
Yeah, so it just depends on my workload. So sometimes it'll be, you know, 2 weeks of being in the office or meeting with clients on design projects. And then when their design comes to, you know, finishing, they want to accessorize and furnishing. And then next thing you know, it's like 2 solid weeks of just being at Home Goods or McNeil. So it's so interesting, or Eco Chic, any of those amazing stores. We are lucky in this town. I feel like we have a really diverse bunch of stores. The
stores are great, and even if you don't get into the stores, you know, say it's maybe a windy day like today or yesterday, you can get inspiration online as well, and following people's Instagram. Do people ever, you know, just like when you go into the hairstylist and you're like, make me look like this, do people ever bring in a picture like, make my kitchen look like this?
They do, yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it'll be photos that I've done, or they'll pull out local magazines and they'll pull out pictures and I'll be like, oh, I did that house. And they're like, oh, I didn't even realize. Or, you know, other ones too. Another popular one, have you ever seen Pretty Domesticated? It's Katie Sullivan in town. She's such a sweetheart. Yeah, but that's another one that I've noticed people say, I love these chairs, or, you know, something along those lines. But it's really fun to see, you know, even, and that's just local again, but it's fun to see people on social media or even House. You know, there's so many great things at our fingertips.
Beautiful here. Maybe just start with a few gourds on your table and find your inspiration piece, even if it's just a napkin that you didn't use from last year.
See, that's the best advice. You don't need me on here. You have the best advice.
I love it. Trevor Hill, always great to have you on. Thank you so much. All right, stay with us. Coming up next, we sit down with Dr. Stephanie Hansen to talk about helping kids through one of the most difficult times. Stay with us.